Emily still remembered the way Daniel looked at her on their wedding day. Not distracted. Not busy. Not rushing. Just present. His eyes held hers as if nothing else in the world existed. "I promise," he whispered, holding her hands gently, "I'll give you everything." And back then, she believed him. Because she didn't know that sometimes everything doesn't include time. Mantelpiece clock, small changes. The first year was beautiful. Late night talks. Cooking together. Laughing over burnt toast and silly movies. Daniel worked hard, but he still came home. Still kissed her forehead. Still asked, "How was your day?" But slowly, things changed. Work became longer. Calls during dinner. Emails before sleep. Deadlines that never ended. "Just a busy phase," he said. Emily nodded. Because love is patient. Fork and knife with plate, dinner for one. By year 3, Emily stopped setting 2 plates. At first, she tried. She would cook his favorite meals. Wait at the table. Check the clock every few minutes. 8:30. 9:15. 10:40. Then the message would come. "Don't wait." At first, she replied, "Okay, red heart." Later, just, "Okay." Eventually, nothing. The silence between them didn't come suddenly. It grew. Like cracks in glass. Invisible at first. Then impossible to ignore. Broken heart, the invisible wife. Emily became background noise. She learned not to interrupt calls. Not to ask too many questions. Not to expect too much. Because expectations led to disappointment. And disappointment hurt too much. One night, she stood at the bedroom door. Daniel sat on the bed, laptop glowing against his tired face. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. He said, not looking up. She waited. He kept typing. "I just wanted." "Emily, please," he sighed, "I'm really busy right now." She nodded. Even though he didn't see it. That night, she cried quietly. Not because he was cruel. But because he wasn't there. Birthday cake, the forgotten day. Her birthday came. Emily didn't expect much. Just something. A call. A message. A moment. She wore the dress he once said he loved. Cooked a small dinner. Lit a candle. And waited. Hours passed. Her phone stayed silent. At 11:58 p.m. a message arrived. "Sorry, crazy day. Happy birthday." Emily stared at the screen. Then slowly blew out the candle herself. That was the moment she realized. You can feel completely alone. Even when you're married. Crescent moon, the night she stopped waiting. It was a quiet Thursday. Rain tapped gently against the windows. Emily set the table out of habit. 2 plates. 2 glasses. 2 people. Who hadn't really spoken in weeks. Time passed. The food went cold. Her heart, colder. Then her phone buzzed. "Working late. Don't wait." She read it once. Then again. Then placed the phone down. For the first time, she didn't feel sad. She felt tired. Slowly, she stood up. Took his plate away. Covered the food. Turned off the lights. And whispered to herself, "I won't wait anymore." That night, something inside her changed. Not broken. Not shattered. Just gone. A different silence. Days passed. Then weeks. Daniel didn't notice the difference at first. because Emily had always been quiet. But now, she was distant. No more texts. No more "did you eat?" No more waiting at the door. She stopped asking when he'd be home. Stopped expecting him to show up. And strangely, that hurt more than her tears ever did. But he didn't know that yet. The night he came home. It was raining harder than usual. The kind of rain that makes everything feel heavier. Emily sat by the window. A cup of tea in her hands. Cold. Unfinished. Her thoughts wandered somewhere unfamiliar. A life where she didn't feel invisible. A life where she didn't wait. Then suddenly, the sound of a door unlocking. She froze. It was too early. Too unexpected. Too unusual. The door opened slowly. Footsteps entered. No phone ringing. No rushed movement. Just silence. Emily. Her heart skipped. Daniel stood there. Soaked from the rain. No laptop. No distractions. Just him. For the first time in years, he was home. Collision, the first real moment. She didn't move. Didn't smile. Didn't rush to him like before. She simply looked at him. As if seeing a stranger. "I came home early," he said quietly. The words hung in the air. Emily let out a soft, almost bitter breath. After 7 years? He flinched. Because it wasn't anger. It was truth. And truth cuts deeper. High voltage, something breaks in him. Daniel looked around. The house felt different. Empty. Quiet. Not peaceful. But distant. He noticed the small things. No dinner waiting. No soft music playing. No warmth. And then he noticed her. Sitting far away. Not reaching for him. Not waiting. Not his anymore. "What happened to us?" he whispered. Emily's eyes filled with tears. But they didn't fall. "You stopped showing up." And for the first time, Daniel had no answer. Broken heart. That night, for the first time, he didn't open his laptop. He opened his eyes. The weight of silence. The house felt unfamiliar to Daniel. Not because it had changed, but because he had never truly seen it before. Emily stood near the window, her back slightly turned. For years, he thought silence meant peace. But now, it felt like distance. "I didn't realize," he started. Emily let out a soft, tired laugh. "You didn't realize, or you didn't look." Her words weren't loud. But they landed harder than anything else. Daniel lowered his eyes. Because deep down, he knew. Broken heart, her truth. "I waited for you," Emily said quietly. Her voice didn't shake anymore. That was the scariest part. "I waited on birthdays, anniversaries, random Tuesdays when I just needed you." Daniel's chest tightened. Every word felt like a memory he had ignored. "I told myself you were busy. That you were doing it for us." She turned to face him. Tears filled her eyes. But they didn't fall. But somewhere along the way, I stopped being part of that us. Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. High voltage the moment he breaks. Daniel stepped forward. For the first time in years. He didn't think about work. Deadlines. Calls. Nothing. Only her. "I thought I was building a future," he said. His voice cracked. "I didn't realize I was losing the present." Emily's lips trembled slightly. But she stayed still. "I don't need a perfect life," she whispered. I needed you. That was it. That was the moment something inside Daniel finally broke. Not his pride. Not his routine. His illusion. Cloud with rain too late. Or not. I can fix this, Daniel said quickly. Too quickly. As if speed could undo years. Emily shook her head gently. It's not something you fix overnight. Her honesty wasn't cruel. It was real. And reality doesn't rush. I don't even know if I remember how we used to be, she added softly. That sentence scared him more than losing her. Because it meant she was already halfway gone. Mantelpiece clock, the first real try. That night, Daniel didn't open his laptop. He sat in silence. Across from her. Like strangers trying to remember love. I don't want to lose you, he said. This time, slower. Real. Emily looked at him. For the first time, there was something in her eyes again. Not love. Not yet. But possibility. You already did, a little at a time. Her voice cracked slightly. And finally, a tear fell. Collision, the hardest days. Change didn't come like a movie. No dramatic transformation overnight. It was awkward. Slow. Uncertain. Daniel started coming home early. At first, Emily noticed. But she didn't react. Because hope felt dangerous. He tried to talk more. Listen more. Be present. But presence isn't proven in a day. It's built. Moment by moment. Fork and knife with plate dinner. Together. One evening. Daniel came home holding groceries. Emily looked surprised. I thought we could cook, he said, almost nervous. She hesitated. Then nodded. That night. They stood side by side in the kitchen. Like they used to. Small talk at first. Then a little laughter. Then silence again. But this time, it wasn't empty. It was healing. Crescent moon, the breakdown. A few days later, Emily broke. Not in anger, but in release. I was so lonely, she cried. Years of silence poured out. I felt invisible in my own marriage. Daniel didn't interrupt. Didn't defend himself. Didn't explain. He just listened. And for the first time, he understood the damage he couldn't see before. Red Heart, the turning point. That night, he held her. Not casually. Not distracted. But fully. I'm here, he whispered. And this time, he meant it. Emily cried into his chest. Not because everything was fixed, but because for the first time in years, she didn't feel alone. Sunrise, rebuilding love. Weeks passed. Then months. And slowly, things changed. Not perfectly, but genuinely. They started eating together. Talking more. Laughing again. Daniel still worked hard. But now, he came home. Really came home. And Emily. She started smiling again. Not forced. Not polite. Real. Sparkling heart, what love really needs. One quiet evening, they sat together watching the rain. Just like that night. But everything felt different. Do you think we made it? Daniel asked softly. Emily leaned her head on his shoulder. We're still making it. He smiled. Because now he understood. Love isn't built in big promises. It lives in small moments. In showing up. In staying. In choosing each other. Every single day. Broken heart. Love doesn't end in one moment. It fades in silence. And sometimes, it only takes one real moment to bring it back. Fire. Backhand index pointing right. If you were Emily, would you stay or walk away? Chart increasing. Speech balloon comment, time or love? Red heart like if you believe love deserves a second chance. Bell subscribe for more emotional stories.